I've got something pretty cool lined up today. So the start of Q1 was a great time for Levio. We had the whole social signaling workflow set up and booking meetings was not an issue, but there was one problem, actually converting those meetings into closed deals. Now, fast forward maybe a month ago or so, I came across this post on LinkedIn and I'm going to link it somewhere here. The post author, Erdem, was pretty much speaking about how an account executive, after their discovery call, failed to really follow up in an effective way that would drive the conversation forward. And the post was amazing. Like, please do check it out. So I had a look and I thought, this is valuable. So I stole it and I used it for myself. And funny enough, I got an amazing response from a lead that I've been chasing for quite some time. Again, I want to link that here somewhere. Now, in my head, I kind of reverse engineered and I thought, what did I actually do to get that result? Well, I took the call transcripts of our discovery call. I thought through his current pains and I really created a message that actually gave clarity. Now, simple enough, right? So if I could do that manually and I've manually mapped out the processes, surely we could build some kind of AI workflow that somewhat enables us to do that in a much quicker fashion. So let's head into Loom and I'll show you exactly what I've done. Okay, bear with me. So picture this. You've finished a call with a prospect 3 days ago. It's time to follow up, only to realize your notes are empty and you have no real understanding of how you can follow up to drive the conversation forward. Well, in this quick video, I'm going to show you this workflow and I'm going to walk you through exactly how I built it so that it will take the transcript from those calls and be able to create effective follow-ups that actually drive the conversation forward. And as you can see, when it finishes, if I head back to our CRM, we've got notes and we also have some tasks as well that we can then use to message the people. As you can see, it's just come through. So let me actually go all the way back into why I'm even doing this. And I really like this build because it all came from a pain point that I genuinely had and I genuinely did something manually. I genuinely saw results. And then I thought, how could I sort of AI co-pilot this so it won't be so hard for me to do it again in the future with more clients and I can replicate it with like more of my team in the future. So again, complete props to Adam because the whole system works around his insights of what an effective follow-up actually is. Because if you just tell AI, write an effective follow-up, it doesn't even know what an effective follow-up is, which is why this is sort of like the crux of everything and everything works around it. Like my prompting skills and all of it only works around how good his insights were. So let's start there. So he was pretty much talking about his conversation with an AE. The discovery call was great, but when it came to the follow-ups, they just weren't driving the needle forward. He said, the AE was saying, have you had any thoughts? And he was thinking, what do you mean thoughts, right? Like, is it worth the budget? My team, will they actually use it? Is there adoption? And do I have the bandwidth to handle the adoption? So those are the questions that the AE should really be answering to help them have more clarity whether this is the right thing to move forward with. And so, as I said in the introduction, I literally followed the script and I did it for myself and I got a response and now I've got a call with someone next week. So let's start. How do we start? So first things first, I want to head into what exactly is going on in the workflow if it wants to open up. There we are. So pretty much what's happening here is whenever a call happens with a prospect, a discovery call, we're going to take that transcript and we're using Fireflies here. Firefly is an amazing API, and what we're doing is we're pretty much just pulling all the sentences from the transcript with the speaker name and also the text, right? You can pull a bunch more information, but you don't want more information because it's going to make the AI too convoluted with stuff that doesn't really care about. So all you want to do is only ask for the speaker name and the text. And for reference, I'm using the API over here, which pretty much tells you exactly how to structure the HTTP request effectively. And before I move forward, I highly recommend anyone building to use something like Postman, where you can literally test out how it's going to work before you then do it in NAN. So you're not getting stuck with the API issue on NAN. You can actually focus on the API like away from NAN. So I use Postgres for this. So I'd definitely encourage you guys to leverage a tool like this. So back to the workflow. If it'll let me go back. Cool. So we're fetching the transcript. Amazing. And the next thing we're doing here is we're creating the follow-up. And we have a really detailed prompt, and I'm going to walk you through what's happening here. We've got a system prompt and a user prompt. And if I open this up here, we can see the system prompt is very long and there's loads of things happening. I kind of want to break you guys down how I've come to this decision and how this kind of works. So if I go all the way back up to my Scali drawer, this is how I usually structure my prompts. I have a system prompt, and the system prompt, the whole point of the system prompt is I want the AI to ask itself loads of questions so it can help it in the output. So if you look at this prompt and you can pause it, I'm pretty much telling the AI, look, I'm going to give you a call transcript and I want you to evaluate like what's going on here. But before you respond, you need to answer these questions. So like, what is their pain point? Like where is it? What specific solutions are they? What key functionalities must it solve? What problems are they trying to solve? This is like my template that I use, and I'm basically then taking this, I'm giving it to Claude with Erdem's post to create a new prompt which is specific to these follow-ups. So I'll show you what I did. So again, this is my template that I use for all of my prompts. Now, the first thing I did was I went to Claude and I pretty much said, look, Claude, like this guy's got an amazing post. It's really great, but please extract some actual insights here that I can then take and give to another prompt. So as you can see here, I said, look, take these, like you're going to take these insights and you're going to give it to an AE. So make sure that you kind of output it in a way that's understandable, so to speak. And I gave it the post and it gave me some pretty cool insights in terms of how we can use those follow-ups insights that Erdem gave us. All right, fantastic. Now I took all of those insights and then I then went over to ChatGPT and I said, look, ChatGPT, I've got my template prompt, which I just showed you, but my template prompt is about something different, right? This specific prompt was about trying to extract pain points from a call, whereas the prompt I want now is talking about extracting like follow-up, ideas from a call. So I said, look, here's my previous prompt. Keep the same context, the same structure. I just want you to change like the questions you're asking yourself in the prompt. Like, I could have done it manually, but hey, I'm being lazy, right? And I gave the insights from Claude along with the example of the post. So if I come down here, you can see, look, insights is in these tags. And then the prompt is the template prompt that I usually use. And then I said, yeah, and then it gave me an amazing prompt. So again, using the template that I currently have, but it's now changed it to now be focused on crafting follow-ups. So if I read it very briefly, you can say, look, you're an expert sales analysis tasked with evaluating call transcripts to craft follow-up messages that drive the conversation forward. Your goal is to create targeted follow-ups that help a prospect navigate their internal buying process, surface hidden blockers, and maintain momentum rather than simply bumping the thread. Right, some detailed stuff we're going for here. You'll be given a call transcript, and I say, look, your follow-up should reflect what the buyer is dealing with internally, and all of this stuff it's getting from Erdem's insights, and it's crafting it into a prompt. And here's what you might get in the transcript. I'm saying what it might expect is a really good way to prompt the model. And I say, look, before you draft any follow-ups, make sure you ask these questions. What is currently preventing their buyer moving forward? What part of their internal process are they in? What concerns might they have? Then I say, some important stuff like, do not say anything about checking in or just circling back. Make sure that each follow-up references something that they specifically said in the transcript. So, hey, Erdem, because you mentioned that your SDR is dealing with this pain about this CRM, I thought it makes sense to send you a case study where company B had something similar and here's how we helped them solve it, right? Those are the follow-ups we're looking for rather than just bumping this, And then super important, just make sure that you keep your follow-ups consultative, goodness me, et cetera, et cetera. And here's the real gems. I want it to output in these XML tags called think and classification. The think tag is where it's going to ask itself the questions and we can extract that and turn it into notes. And the classification step is the actual output we're looking for, which is the follow-ups. This thinking kind of drives how good the follow-ups are. So we're pretty much turning a normal model into like a reasoning model by making it think before it outputs. So trust me, you're going to see the result that you can get with this. So once I've done that, I guess I'll go back to now I hope this makes more sense. So I'm telling it all this stuff from Erdem's insights alongside my templates. And then the user prompt is basically me saying, look, hey, here's a call transcript. And as you can see, I'm getting the sentences and just outputting the speaker name and the text. So as you can see, hello, hi, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Very, very simple. And then letting it rip. And then as you can see, here is the response. And I'm using some code to extract the XML, and then we can see how it looks in a second. And it's really detailed. So it says here, look, From the transcript, Manish is navigating a complex internal operational challenge related to inventory, batch, and tracking management. The core problem is this. So this is it thinking through its answer, thinking, and then here's the follow-ups that it got to based on the thinking. And you can see some of these are really, really good. So that regarding your worries about scalability and the cost of Airtable, we can explore leveraging guest access and customized interfaces that limit editing permissions. Like what the hell? Like this is something I would quite literally say, right? Because of how we prompted it, we're making sure that the output is very much in line with what we're trying to do here. And again, because it's using Erdem's insights, it's creating these follow-ups in a way that's driving the conversation forward. So look, ahead of Friday's session, I'll share a case study of some similar projects where we replace manual batch and inventory tracking. Pretty good. Lastly, since you prefer a self-contained system with no external APIs, I'll focus on maximizing Airtable's native features and built-in interfaces. Like it showed that we really like have taken what he said and using that to drive like something down the line. And then here is where we're basically then taking all of this and we're then adding it back to our CRM. So I use Atio as my CRM, and Atio is amazing. But the first thing we're doing here is we're getting the CRM record. If anyone's booked a call with me, you'll be in my CRM. You'll be in my CRM. Because once someone books a call, they're automatically added to my CRM. So I'm taking his like domain and I'm matching it against a domain that's already in my CRM to get his record. Once I get his record ID, I can then use that to first of all add notes and then add the follow-ups. So if I go back to my Atio, you can see that I've added the notes here, and all the notes are just the think tag. So you can see from the transcript, Manish, whatever. And I've created tasks that then my sales team can then do on maybe every 3 days, where in the task is actually giving them like an AI Copilot example of what it can say. So if I open it up here, you can see tasks, or they're all during 5 days, for example. And then here, look, ahead of Friday sessions, I'll share this or whatever. Is this perfect? Absolutely not. But it's given an amazing AI Copilot assistant that I can use and say, nah, I like this. Let me add in a link to something, or let me change this to something else. So it's really getting the ball rolling ASAP. So I'm really happy with this. In regarding your worries about scalability, and it's added straight to your Atio. And of course, you can change the dates. So we can make one in 3 days, one in 7 days, one in 14 days, and have some kind of cadence. Whatever it is your sales team do. I'm not an AE, I'm not a salesperson. I'm an automator. But of course, you'll use this however it will work for your business. And so, yeah, and then adding the notes, and then adding the follow-up. So again, very, very simple flow, very rough because I've literally just built it now. But I'm really excited about this because I'm literally taking something that I did manually where it worked. And I said, hold on a minute. What could I do now? How could I co-pilot this? So in the future, every single like 3 days, so every other day when I do my CRM follow-ups, when I wake up, I'm already given some insights from the call that is going to save me 80% of my time, and the 20% is just tinkering with the output. So yeah, very, very lean solution. I'll share the template, leverage it, change the prompt to make it unique to however it is that you tend to do your follow-ups. But again, thank you, Erdem, for the insights, and yeah, do what you need to do. What else have I got here? That's about it. God bless. Speak soon.